keep hearing that. Oh, wow. Okay.
It's you on the table. Has it changed?
Does that mean we...
Hello, and welcome to Take Flight Live with Phoenix Stage Company, an award-winning 100% volunteer community theater organization located in Oakville, Connecticut. I'm Ed Bassett, Executive Director of Phoenix Stage Company, and your host, here with Tim Phillips. Say hello, Tim.
Hello!
And of course, we have to welcome our technical producer, Michael Calabrese, who is in the studio with us, and our friend, Al Hathaway, lighting genius. Hello, Al.
Hi.
We always like making Michael's blood pressure spike at certain moments when we started.
Just a little tiny bit. But I literally could, we wait for the screen to change before we say anything, and I literally couldn't see it change.
Oh.
And Tim was trying to figure out what the noise was when he was beating on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That noise.
So, yeah.
I'm not beating on the table right now.
No. Last week, we had a wonderful show.
It was a very enjoyable show with Ian and Emily
Dietrich
Dietrich talking about couples on stage and stuff
Oh,
like that.
we have to do this. Did you do your math?
No, we have to do that. Yeah.
Did you do your math today?
Yes, I did my math today.
We are 6 feet 2 inches apart.
Wow. Just so you know, that 6 feet is also the equivalent of 96 Jelly Belly beans.
96 Jelly Belly beans. Does it matter the flavor?
Really doesn't.
They all the same size?
They all average about 3/4 an inch long. Okay. And I bring that up because I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, you talked in your good news about
the Jelly Belly gold ticket that was so not right.
Yes,
not
and
real.
I just did an update on there and found out that like California has sold out all their chances to get into that contest. You don't get a Jelly Belly thing. You get a
4,000 square foot building in the middle of a swamp in Florida that he says is a candy factory.
Well, it's from what I heard, you can do food with it. So
listen, let's ask our viewers. What is your favorite Jelly Belly flavor?
Because we like making Michael write things down.
Your favorite Jelly Belly flavor.
But I brought it up because, believe it or not, in listening to one of my favorite shows on radio, Wait, Don't Tell Me, that question came up about that contest.
Oh, it did.
I'm like, we're ahead of the curve.
We are ahead of the curve.
We are ahead of the curve.
We are way ahead. You know what goes well with Jelly Belly is Black Hog beer.
Yes, it does.
You have yours, and I don't have mine yet. I think Al is somewhere about with my special.
There it is. Incoming.
Thank you, my social distancing delivery man. Thank you, Al.
So I was listening to the show, and they started talking about that contest and how Jelly Belly actually had to come on and say it's not us.
Yep.
Which is what you talked about. It was fascinating there. Let me make sure I got my placement.
There we go.
In there. So that was interesting. I also have another follow-up because last week on Jargon Gymnastics, we did Shakespearean words.
Yes.
That no one ever heard of.
Right.
And you said, tell me some Shakespeare words that we have heard of.
Yes.
So I went back and I wrote down a few.
Oh, good.
These are words that were started out as Shakespearean words: hot-blooded, foul-mouthed, leapfrog, hunchback, bewitchment, moonbeam, pageantry, lackluster, swagger, dwindle, bandit, and so many more. But those are all words.
So many more. Who would have thought that he would have come up with the term "so many more"? Nobody's heard that before.
No, that's not. But I did my research because you asked about that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes. So, yes.
We have some birthdays.
We have a lot of birthdays coming up.
Yes, September and October are busy months.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. So on Wednesday, which was yesterday, our friend Austin Tewksbury, who was with us in
Drowsy Chaperone.
Wednesday, Dan Flynn. Happy birthday, Dan.
Yep.
Matt Austin.
I've worked with Matt.
His birthday is today.
Today. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Matt Austin.
And we also have a few more. Aubrey, I never say this right. Delagnes. Is that right?
Yes.
Delagnes. Ingrid Smith, who does shows everywhere. She's a queen, basically. Our friend Lucian Harton is celebrating his birthday on Friday. Aubrey and Ingrid also are on Friday. And this coming Monday, our good friend Marcia Gaylord Navarrete, who has appeared on Phoenix Stage in 3 Murders and It's Only Monday and Glass Menagerie.
Yep. And I Hate Hamlet.
Oh, that's right. I knew I
Yeah,
forgot.
and and then she went and got married and had a kid.
It happens.
And then we lost her. She didn't do shows anymore for a
But
while.
that's all
so
right.
She'll come back.
Yeah, I'm sure she will.
So I have a couple of answers to my question.
Yes.
So favorite Jelly Belly flavors: Lori P. I'm assuming that's your wife. Likes coconut. Amber likes toasted marshmallow. Bags of them. And Chanel likes Tutti Frutti.
As she should.
Deb, do you make us also add it in afterwards? Strawberry daiquiri.
Oh, so that's my sister's. Of course, she would like the alcohol one, the strawberry daiquiri. So that's because we're newly Irish.
And Lori,
so
if you look on the jar in the living room, there's probably a couple of white jelly beans still left in there. Those are probably coconut. Please eat them because
they're the coconut. If they have a little bit of yellow on them, they're the buttered popcorn. But
those
are pretty good.
But that was a lot of fun. We did that here
that was Berthy Bots.
Berthy Bots, which is but they're owned
like old socks, moldy cheese.
Well, you didn't know which one you were
eating.
Yeah. We try to stay away from that.
Yeah, it was pretty gross.
So how was your week?
The week was good. It was good. I had a sewing project I was working on that was due today, and I finished it up. There's a lot of math involved in it, and so I was kind of busy with that. But that's it. We're working on a lot of stuff that's coming up here at Phoenix Stage Company later in October. So we'll talk about that stuff later.
We're very busy.
But I was really busy with that stuff.
And you just before we went on the air, you just got some news.
I did, yeah. So Governor Lamont announced that Phase 3 opening will begin on Thursday, October 8th. And what this does is it increases from 50% to 75% the capacity for indoors, subject to COVID-19 safety requirements. So restaurants, personal services, hair salons, barbershops, libraries, they can go to 75% capacity. Outdoor venues like amphitheaters, racetracks, and stuff like that will increase from 25% to 50% capacity.
That's a big deal.
With masks and social distancing. Indoor performing arts venues like us, we will be able to open at 50% capacity. But yeah, here's the difficulty with that. So we have these guidelines from the state, from the Office of the Arts and Economic Development, 17-page guideline that tells us how we figure out how many people we can put in our audience with safe distancing. So if I were to put 50% in here, we would have about 75 people in the room.
Yeah.
But if I follow the guideline with distancing that's required, we can have 30 in the room.
That's a big difference.
It's a big difference, but really the biggest difficulty for us right now is putting actors on the stage safely.
Yeah.
We still don't know how to do that. You can't distance actors on the stage, and there are only so many one-man shows out there that we can do.
Right.
And we're still concerned with the cost associated with a production if people are still too scared to come and sit in the audience. So we're working that out. We're going to be doing some hybrids in the future of both virtual and in person. So audience members will be able to come here or stay home and watch. So we're working on some stuff, but October 8th, Phase 3 for the state is great news.
That is very
Fingers
good
crossed that nothing happens before that and we don't have to worry about.
What's good is that we're progressing in the right direction.
We are, and they actually credit the citizens of the state of Connecticut for the progress that we're making because everyone is working within the guidelines and we're working together as a community to try and beat this thing.
And good for you, people wearing your masks.
Good for you.
We like you when you wear your mask, just not during
it's
the show.
true. So that's some good news. That's some really good news.
I'm very excited about that.
I'm happy. I was next door to us here. We have the Cafe Europa, and Tony was over there today. And one of his difficulties with opening was he had passed his health inspection and got his certificate, but then they contacted him after this COVID thing and said, we have to come and re-inspect you now with the COVID requirements. So he's waiting now to get a new inspection before he can open up, and he'll probably open just for takeout services.
You said he was going to probably take the tables out, so
he's probably going to, because he's such a small space.
Sure.
I mean, he could maybe seat 4 people with distancing.
Yeah.
But so he's going to be opening, but probably for takeout services, but not until he now gets a new inspection from the health department with the COVID requirements.
Do you think with this advancement, will that advance Phoenix Stage Company's return to live theater?
No, and I don't think it's going to advance a lot of theaters to live performances because the difficulty is, again, actors on the stage. And until we can figure out how to keep actors safe, that's going to be a problem. And we did a little survey with a lot of our patrons, and a lot of people said until there's a vaccine, they're just not going to be comfortable coming out and sitting in groups.
Yeah.
And so we're going to kind of take our time. We're going to work on these other projects that we're doing, and we're going to continue to work through those.
Yeah.
And so that, that's a question that we can ask our audience members as well.
Because he needs another question.
Because he needs another question. And I want an honest answer. I don't want theater people that are watching us to say, yeah. Are you comfortable right now with going out to watch a live show in a theater at 50% capacity? Are you comfortable? Let us know.
Or a movie theater.
Or in a movie theater, even.
Yeah.
Any indoor venue to sit and watch any kind of a show. I'd be interested in knowing.
Yeah.
I really would. So we're just, we're going to take our time, because we can't afford right now, as a small nonprofit, to invest in a large production and then have it flop.
Yeah.
We can't afford to lose money on a production right now. So we're taking our time, and we're going to do it smartly. We're going to do it right.
We want to get it right.
We're going to do it
We're
right.
gonna
We're going to do it right. And we're going to listen to our patrons. We're going to listen to our actors.
And a very brief shout out to our friends up north in Torrington for their performance yesterday, last
Absolutely.
night, in the concert version of Assassins.
I didn't get to go.
I did not either.
And I'll be honest, my reason was 100% financial.
Yeah.
I'm not working right now. And so
it was $100 a car.
And I'm very limited, and I have the cats I have to feed, and they're eating me out of house at home, and the washing machine broke, and then my toaster blew up, and I had a week of technical stuff. I hate 2020. And so I couldn't go because it was a financial decision for me. So I was thinking of them, and I'm so happy.
But I hear good things, and what a surprise after the fact to find out that Stephen Sondheim himself
that was excellent.
Showed up.
That was excellent.
Kudos to you guys.
Quite a coup for
Congratulations
them.
to
So
Ian and all the other people that worked so, Sharon,
everyone.
that worked so hard putting that together. Grand news to
really
see.
good news. Really good news.
I'm happy about that.
Absolutely.
So we talk about what we're going to talk about tonight.
Yeah, what are we doing tonight? We really didn't.
I didn't
ask
talk
you.
about it.
I didn't say,
Tonight,
hey, what are we doing tonight?
we
Tim?
are discussing the balancing act of community theater. Everybody that's in community theater, this is not a professional thing. We have jobs, we have careers, we have everything going on besides the community theater. As much as we love it, and I would willing to bet that the people that do community theater love it as much as the people who get paid to do it. But we have to maintain that balancing act between family, between careers, and doing everything. And sometimes, like we were talking last week with couples, switching off because of the balancing act that they have to do. Our guest this week is Kristin Moresi, who's joined us only a couple of years ago in Cliffhanger, and has done a few shows since then. I love her dearly. She's a good friend. And we also have Lydia Cleft will be back with some news about what's going on up there in Minnesota. And of course, with Kristin, we're going to be playing jargon gymnastics.
Or jargon if you're gassy.
And we will be sharing the news and some good news and whatnot. And that's the basic premise. So the balancing act of community theater, I didn't really realize that until I started doing some shows in which people were literally bringing work to the theater.
Well, you and I are a little bit different. You have a job that's quite flexible for you.
It works for community.
You can work from home, and then you do some traveling, but you can kind of work that around. I work within the industry.
Yes.
So I work with a costume rental company. And so my job is theater, right? So I was able to adjust. And it was a little harder when my dad was still with us, when my dad was alive. And my sister and I were caregivers to him. I would go in the mornings and she would go at nights. And so it was a little harder then because things were juggling.
Well, there were some occasions where that kind of cut into things. Yeah.
So, and then it got a little bit easier, and work was so flexible for me with the costume company. So, and it kind of married itself because there were times when people were looking for things that we had at the theater here. Mm-hmm. There were times when we needed things from there. So it worked really well for me. So balancing for me was fairly easy then.
Now, for me, it was a little difficult, even with this job I have back before COVID. I would be sent to mid-state New York, upper state New York occasionally, and I will always tell my boss, never on Hell Week. Do not send me anywhere on Hell Week because there's just so much going on.
Sure.
But I do remember making some calls to directors, and like you in one case, where I'm like, it's 6 o'clock and I'm 4 hours away from the theater.
Right. I have gotten those calls before.
Yeah.
I got those calls when we worked together on a production team,
Yes.
director, stage manager, or vice versa.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
And we get, I mean, anytime you do a show here, that's why we always say to a cast, here is the number of your stage manager if there is a problem, not just traffic, but if there's any kind of problem, please call us and let us know. And in fact, one of the things you do right in the beginning when you do auditions is you put out a sheet of a conflict.
we do. We ask for conflicts.
Yeah.
Yeah, we put the calendar on any date. Give us any date,
Yep.
and that's just we put out a calendar. Put an X on any date that you're not available, not just the dates
Not
that
the
we're playing or
rehearsal
rehearsing.
days. Yeah.
That's especially important in the winter because that's another
Oh,
time when we
yeah.
all balance.
Right.
And we do that here when we're planning a season. It's a balancing act for
Mhm.
us. When to put a show, knowing the types of performers we need and who in our community fills those needs and what their needs are. We take that into account. And so when people come to audition and they have a lot of conflicts,
Yeah.
we look at that. We ask them honest questions. Are these flexible? Are they not flexible? How can we work around it?
Right.
And so it's a balancing act on both parts, on
Sure.
everyone's part.
But I mean, the definite part of that is if there's any conflict with the actual show dates or usually Hell Week, Tech Week, yeah.
Tech Week and show dates are kind of
that's a backbreak. That's a deal breaker for
you
people.
have to be available. Of course, you have to be available
Yeah.
for those.
Yeah.
That's one of the things. But folks like Kristin, who's going to come on and talk to us, she has a family she's juggling. She has a job that she's juggling.
Right.
So there's a lot more balance that has to go
Mm-hmm.
on there. And I said this when we've talked to people in the past, Ian and Emily and some other people, if there's a show coming up that we know is right up someone's alley and we know that they're probably going to want to audition.
Right.
But if we have a show we know Emily is right for, we have one that we know Ian is right for, or Rob and Tori or some of our others,
Mm-hmm.
we will oftentimes figure out where we're going to put those in the season that will give them the best opportunity to audition.
Right.
It doesn't mean we're pre-casting, but we want to make sure that people have the best opportunity to cast. We know when teachers are busy. We know when they have time. And so we have so many educators as volunteers here, so many educators. So we know when in the year we have to put shows that will allow them the best opportunity to audition and perform in those shows.
But one of the most frustrating things when you're a community theater actor is to see a show, not just here at Phoenix, but in countless theaters in the grand scheme of things around here, is to see a show that you really want to do, but it doesn't fit in your schedule.
That's the hard part.
We've all had that. I think everybody that's watching has had to make that decision, especially if there's like two shows going up against each other, and that happens. As a producer, as a director, we've all had people audition who are auditioning for more than one thing. And, we've called to offer a role and the person has said, I'm waiting to hear back from someone else. You put that on the audition form,
so
right?
we added that to the audition form.
Yeah.
Are you planning on, or have you auditioned for another show that may conflict with this one?
Yeah.
We just like to know kind of, where
Talk
people
about
are.
Balancing act.
And that's because that puts everything else on hold, because as you know, as a director, when you start making calls, if one person says no, it changes the entire makeup of the cast,
right?
Because you're pairing up these believable groups of people to create families or couples or whatever else.
And I never understood that before until I started directing shows here, that concept of calling your yeses first. Get them lined up before you tell the people no.
Yeah.
Because that could lead to problems.
Sure it does.
Yeah.
Sure it does. You remember the days when we used to call everybody.
Yes.
And the director would always call the people that they were asking to be in shows. And the stage manager always had to call everyone else, had to make phone calls to every single person that was getting a no. And that could be really hard sometimes because we had people that demanded to talk to the director, people that were mad because they thought they killed the audition. And so the day came when emails came around.
And it's acceptable now. to
It
do
is
that.
acceptable.
Yeah.
I remember the first show that I auditioned for at the Warner, they notified you by mail.
Oh,
And I got an envelope in the mail and it said, congratulations, you've been cast in the show. And you have to bring this paper with you to the first rehearsal. And there's a $35 production fee. And yeah, so we had to pay $35 to be in the show.
Right.
But it was 2 weeks after the audition that I got this thing in the mail
wow.
that said, yes, you were cast. So that was way back when.
Yeah.
You know, that was way before the Warner got its facelift. You know, when the stuff was hanging off the walls.
Okay, so that's way back.
Way back.
That's
Yeah.
before my time.
Yeah, way back.
I don't think Michael was even born back then.
No, probably not.
Probably
He's
not.
so busy writing down responses right now. We're killing him. We should ask another question.
Yeah. What's your favorite color?
No, we're not going to do that to our Michael. Yeah, but he does have some answers for me. Thank you, sir.
Hot off the presses.
I have like a tally and so
Yeah.
are you comfortable with seeing a show at a theater? We have 1 yes, 3 no's, and 2 maybes out of the people that answered.
That's about right.
Tony said he's been to the movies already. Amber said depends on how they're distancing. Lori said not crazy about it.
Yeah.
Chanel, as long as the spacing and the masks are met. My sister Deb, she loves volunteering, but she's not 100% yet.
That's going to be another problem, actually, too, when you talk about it.
And Tori said,
Yeah.
I love you all with my heart and soul, but I'm not comfortable yet.
No.
And, stop. We have to stop touching the table, apparently.
It's feedback from the mic. It's
sorry.
been there for weeks now.
Well, I think it's every time I touch the table. I
Yeah.
lean on the table.
Yeah.
We're drumming on the table. Sorry, everyone, for drumming.
Yeah.
We're driving Michael crazy with our drumming. So-
Apparently other people as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much what I expected to hear. As much as we all love theater, and I think Tori nailed it right on the head there. Till we get a level of comfort that people can come in and it's not going to be the same.
Well, and some of the difficulty that we've had, honestly, with getting ready,
Yeah.
and I just checked before tonight. We need to have certain equipment on hand. We have to have those hands-free hand sanitizers.
Right.
We have to have at least one station, and they're not available now till
There's so many.
October.
Yeah.
Back in March, I was looking, and they were saying we'll have them in May, and then June, and then July, and now October. And so everything is out of.
Isn't it
out of
amazing
supply.
how much of this has just gone on since March, really?
Yeah.
And here we are 6 months later, and we're still talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
Unprecedented.
It is unprecedented.
in our time.
So we're just going to take our time and we're going to do it right. That's the right comfort level for everyone that's involved.
Yeah.
We want to get back into production. We really, really do.
We'll
take our time.
I'm so glad that we have this.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this is a way for us. I know so many people that are watching tonight look forward to the Thursday nights. I like to watch the show evening after we record. I go home and watch it, pour myself another beer and watch.
I have never watched.
Oh, I watch every time.
I don't like to listen to myself on recordings. I don't like to see myself on video.
Well, I
I'm
pretty
just
much turn it down when you talk. So
because I'd end up like going for a facelift. I would,
Yeah.
I'd look like Jennifer Aniston, and Lori would never talk to me again.
But anyway, I like to read the comments that people put in, and it thrills me to see how involved everybody is. And this is their little get together on Thursday night.
Sure it is.
And it's a lot of fun. I'm glad that you have room for us, and we have no intention of going away until we're ready to open up to the world and just say, here we are.
True.
Yeah.
It's true. So listen, we have a guest we're going to bring on.
We'll
talk a little bit. So let me talk a little bit about our guest.
Yes.
So Kristin Moresi first joined us here at Phoenix Stage Company for our production of Cliffhanger. She quickly became a regular here on our stage. Her credits include Moon Over Buffalo, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, 4 Weddings and an Elvis, and Sherwood, The Adventures of Robin Hood. She was most recently seen on stage at Landmark Community Theater in A Christmas Story. Kristin, are you there?
Hey, yes.
Hey. How are you, Kristin?
I'm good. How are you guys?
It's been so long. I cannot believe we talked a little bit pre-show, and I just cannot believe that we have not seen each other since we left the Christmas.
It's insane. It's crazy that it's been that many months since December, I think we realized, huh?
How's the COVID working out for you? You have a full house, from what you
Yes.
said.
Yes.
But you worked at home. You were working from home anyway.
I
Right?
had been, yes, but now now it's way more fun and way less quiet to be trying to do that with 3 other bodies around constantly, all the time.
Have you put a lock on the door yet for your office?
I haven't, but there's like glass on the door, so that would probably just end in like somebody plowing through it.
So Kristin, your very first show here with us at Phoenix Stage Company was Cliffhanger.
Brilliant.
How did you hear about the show and what made you decide to come out and audition?
Man, well, it was that fall that I got the idea of trying to get into community theater. We'd moved back up here and been up here for a little while, and I was just at a point where I thought maybe I could get out of the house and away from the little ones a little bit. So I really just started Googling around in the area for opportunities, and came out, and it was the audition. I remember being so much fun. Didn't think I had a chance, but honestly, I really love just auditioning, and then was so shocked and so thrilled when I got a call and was able to join the cast for it. It was great. It was a really, really fun first experience.
Well, let me say, we auditioned together for that show. We were
Yes.
on the same night, and I was taken right away with your talent, and I just had a good feeling right from you. So when I heard that you had cast, I was thrilled, and that show was just an ideal situation. We just had a wonderful cast with you and me and Helen and Chris and Justin. And it was magic. It was real theater magic happening.
It really was. Yeah, I remember your audition very clearly. And I remember sitting at the table and you started reading, and I just kind of looked at the stage manager and said, where has she been?
Yeah.
Who is this woman? Like, who is she? Yeah, because your audition was really solid, really super solid. And it's kind of, you kind of go as a director, you go, oh, I don't know the person. Are they somebody that's going to audition really well and then suck once you get into rehearsal? Or like, what is it going to be like? But you were fabulous in that show, fabulous.
And I
well, as most people who know me would say, it would be really, really hard for me to act like a witch.
But you had a tough part in that role, in which you had to sit there and be dead for quite some
Quite a
time
while.
before we wheeled you off.
Because Socrates hit you.
Yeah, Socrates hit you. Yeah, loved it. How much of it was a balancing act for you at that point, coming back onto the stage?
That was, I
This
feel
was
like the
your first-
initial show maybe wasn't the hardest point that I had doing a balancing act, because up until that point, it had been, for years, 4 years, I think at that time, only kids and work, and basically nothing for myself really, since we had kids. So I think it was such a, honestly, relief to get out of the house and do something and have something that was kind of just for me for once in many years, as almost all new moms or dads can say that. It wasn't too hard, and I was really lucky to have my husband on board and willing to pick up the nights when I couldn't be around or needed to be at the theater. So initially the balancing act wasn't too hard, I'd say.
And we kind of hooked Brian into, did he do some
He's
volunteering?
ushered.
He's
Yeah,
ushered,
he's
yeah.
ushered.
So we got him involved as well, which, my wife is thrilled about anytime we get.
And I'm always a little curious too, the opening night cast parties that we have when spouses come in and they're new, everybody's new. And I'm like, ooh, is he in for a treat?
Oh yeah.
Because he's going to come in and go downstairs to the little green room, and it's just a bunch of weird theater people sitting around talking about
other shows. Yeah.
It smells funny down there, and it's just weird. Like what he must have thought, because I remember him just kind of standing quietly, kind of watching everyone, and slowly,
Right.
you bring people in. But it must have been, quite a different thing for him too, in the beginning.
Well, his friends are weird too, so it's fine.
Yeah. Now, it wasn't long after Cliffhanger that you did your second show, right?
Yep.
Wasn't it
Moon
Moon
Over
Over
Buffalo?
Buffalo? That was pretty much almost simultaneous.
Yeah.
And I do remember seeing Brian because we both were in Moon Over Buffalo, and I do remember seeing him in the lobby. It might have been opening night. I can't remember when, but he he just had this look on his face like, yeah, I'm back here again. And yeah, she's good. She's hooked and she's going to be here a lot. So he was but he was very kind. We love Brian and we love having him around. But the other nice thing about doing Moon Over Buffalo is that our friend Laura was in it as well. And that was your first chance to find out what her cheesecake was like.
Yes, exactly.
we dearly
And
love.
so now you've done you're brilliant at comedy, and I've enjoyed directing you, and I know Lori Poulin has really enjoyed directing you in those shows. You also dove in on One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which was not a comedy. So do you have a preference yourself? Drama, comedy? Is there a preference there?
Drama more. I kind of like the darker stuff, the sadder, sort of more character driven stuff. I don't know. I definitely would be drawn to that more, though. I think Cuckoo's Nest was such a fantastic show. It was such a blast. I learned so much from everyone there.
Yeah. That was probably one of the best shows I think we ever did there.
Well,
it was amazing.
And Kristin was another one of those characters that was kind of in the depths of that show, and being a part of it. Not a lot to say, but the presence of that character was so important, and you were profound in your silence in that.
Yeah.
The little things that you would do with that character, the things that grabbing your cross and doing the things that you did.
The deer in the headlights.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So she was one of those characters. Brian Elster was the other hanging against the wall. That those layers of characters are so important, and finding that, and you were brilliant in that show. I thought you were one of the brilliant actors in that show.
Well, they're pretty
Everybody.
much everyone.
I mean, that whole cast was amazing.
And then Lucia did such a nice job.
I think it was one of
cast.
Michael's favorites.
Yeah.
I love that show.
Yeah, everybody loves that show. So
yeah, it was a really, really good one.
So,
and then Sherwood, The Adventures of Robin Hood,
which you took up stage combat for the first time, I think, right?
That was so fun. I loved it. Yeah, that was definitely the first time I'd seen or done anything like that. And it was great. I had such a blast. It was really, really fun. I feel like growing up, I always was sort of more into sports and more physical sort of hobbies. So it was able to, I feel like some of it could kind of translate into more of the combat work. And I thought it was a total blast. Rob was amazing. Those guys were so knowledgeable and so great and so cognizant of, safety and making sure everybody, whether you had big scenes or small scenes, knew exactly what they were doing or where to be and how to do it.
And it was a really physical show. There was a lot there. And
there was a lot to it.
I thought we pulled it off too. I thought,
and I remember calling you, or I don't know if I called, or I remember you getting the casting call, and you were a little shocked that we were casting you in the role we put you in that show. You were a little, oh, sure, yeah, one of those, what? Yeah, but
it's one of those where you have no idea how the auditions go, and that one I was definitely surprised at the phone call, and I mean totally flattered that it was to play like a 16 or 17-year-old girl, so that was totally fine.
I think Kristin, one of my favorite things with Sherwood was you always kept me laughing, because when we'd be doing our warm-ups, every single time I'd be in the middle of warm-ups and I go, you know what? Let's look and see what Kristin's doing right now in her face, because what you'd be doing is sometimes we'd be doing warm-ups, but you'd be running through something in your head. So you'd be in like a whole other world that I'd been watching. And then all of a sudden we'd make eye contact and you realize I'd been watching, and we just both laugh. And it was great.
We also have to talk about being a youngster in that show, but I also remember Moon Over Buffalo. Laura was your mom, right?
Yes. Right.
Okay.
She was really, really psyched about that.
Yeah, and Brian was your fiance. And
That's right.
Yeah, there you go. Right. So
yeah,
that's hilarious.
It was awesome. Any dream roles out there for you? Any shows you want to do that you haven't done yet, or you haven't had an opportunity?
Not really. I feel like when I think in terms of that, I'm really open because I felt like some of the roles that I've gotten or shows that I've been able to be in, I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it. When I first look at the script, I think, oh, maybe I'm not sure about this or maybe that part. And then afterwards realized what a fantastic part it was or what a great show it was. So I'm kind of open to anything. A lot of the times it's been the people who I've been with who have really made the show.
Yeah.
So
And
for that, it's more the theater and the people.
I just remember you did the Almost Maine up in Goshen too.
oh, that's
Yes.
right, you did. Yes. Yeah.
Saw that. That was such a good show.
Yeah. So Shakespeare, have you ever done that?
I've not. That I don't think that I don't think I'd be able to do Shakespeare very well.
And why is that?
You're probably like
I'm
maybe
not-
intimidated by that.
Hmm?
I'm
Yeah,
intimidated by
definitely
it.
intimidated, and I haven't had a strong connection to a lot of Shakespeare works, which is bad. I want to get more into it. I have the book How to Teach Your Kids Shakespeare that I haven't started going through with my kids yet, but I'm hoping that will help to.
And as a costumer, I can tell you, I really want you to do Shakespeare because you're one of those people that I can put anything on you and it looks amazing. And I would just love to dress you for Shakespeare because I just think, and we put anything on you, it fits and it looks amazing. So it's like both Lori and I are like, woohoo, Kristen's in a show. We can throw anything on her and it looks fabulous. So I would love to see you in some Shakespeare.
Are you how are you feeling about? We asked the poll question there about how you feeling comfort level about getting back into the theaters.
Man, it's sort of on the same page as what you guys were saying. I think that I'm desperate to be back and come back, but I have been we've been so cautious about everything for the last 6 months, like on the extreme conservative end, where most of our friends and family are calling me crazy now, that I just don't think I could do it until things are different, but
Yeah.
I'm missing it terribly.
Yeah.
It's really strange because we all have relatives or friends who are way over on this side, like cuckoo nuts germaphobes.
Yeah.
And then we have people way over on this side that are like,
Deniers.
It's not real. And I'm
Yeah.
going out and doing what I want. And then we try to be in the middle, but then there are times when I go, I think I'm doing too much.
Yeah.
But I'm doing it with I have my pod,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I just have to remember that I'm with my pod and hopefully my other pod people are being as conservative as I am with stuff.
Right.
I have a family situation going on in another state right now, and there's a chance that I'm going to have to go and help with that. And we had to do all this research on what are the numbers like and what color is the state and do I have to quarantine? And there's so much going into it right now. So I feel you.
Yeah.
Is it safe to say though that once everything is all settled, you'll be back?
Yes, definitely.
I'll keep that in mind next time I'm directing a play.
Yeah, we gotta wait for that vaccine to come out or
Yeah,
something. Some we can need some magic.
I need a play that can cast Kristin and Laura in together because you get them. They have to be in the shows together.
Yeah.
Yes, totally. I miss Laura so
so we can
much.
get
We've
the
got to
two
make that happen.
Yeah,
Yeah. We're excited to get started, but like I said, we just have to be smart about it.
we're gonna do it right.
That is all. We just have to be a little smart. So, Kristin, listen, we're going to put you on hold for a minute. We got to bring our friend Lydia on.
Oh, very nice.
So we're going to have you just kind of fade into the back there for a minute, and we're going to bring our friend Lydia on. Kristin will be right back with us. Here comes Lydia. Here comes Lydia. Lydia comes up now. Here she comes right now. She's on the screen right there. It's Lydia. There she is. Hi, Lydia.
Hi, fellas.
Hi, Lydia. I'm no Sondheim. Sorry.
No, that was some really bad singing.
You
Tim.
like that? Well, it was like elevator music.
Yeah, that was really.
And you had like 2 weeks to work on that, Tim.
I know, and it was the last thing on my list, and I didn't quite.
Well, you remember, the last time we saw you, we didn't have the music because we had some technical issues, so we had to go.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
We were more
The
working on
acapella version.
we were working on the sound and not really the words.
Really?
We'll come up with words for you. We're gonna write some words for you.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yes. So how have you been? How have you been? We haven't seen you in 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, in that time that I was gone, I went to a wedding.
You
A
did.
wedding, really?
A wedding in these times. Yeah, those kids, they had to jump through a lot of hoops.
That's a different.
At a
kind of
wedding? they
Yeah.
jump through a hoop? I heard it jump.
Yeah,
through
it was a circus
hoop.
wedding.
Oh, a circus wedding. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So, little dogs.
No, it was really nice though that everybody there, these spaced people out at the reception and there was dancing and, it was just interesting because there was hand sanitizer on every table and, precautions aplenty.
That's
Okay.
good. That's excellent. It's good to hear.
Everybody does a toast with his hand sanitizer.
That's right.
Yeah.
So Lydia, I have a question for you from a viewer this week.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we do, yeah. So we have a viewer who is getting ready for a first date
Oh,
and would like to know what is the best type of wine to serve with cheesecake. Do you have any advice? Should she serve wine? Shouldn't she serve wine? And what would be the best kind to go with cheesecake?
well, wine and cheese are a lovely pairing. So
Yeah.
it all depends, honestly. If it's a cool night, then you want to have like a nice red wine. It depends if it's a blind date, you might want to have any kind of wine you have in your house and have a few bottles and they'll get better looking with everyone.
Hmm,
So yeah,
that's interesting.
say, what kind of
I
wine do
mean-
you like with your cheesecake?
I'm sorry, I missed what?
What kind of wine do you like with your cheesecake?
I like beer with my cheesecake, tell you the truth.
Oh, then you're a rebel. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you are. Yeah, I would probably, depends on the kind of cheesecake that I'm having.
True.
If I'm having chocolate cheesecake, I'll probably have like a Merlot.
Yeah,
If I'm
that's
having a strawberry cheesecake, I might have a Riesling. But
Mm,
honestly, I don't know that I would have wine with cheesecake.
yeah, I don't.
well, it's
If
to
it's
each his
fried
own.
cheesecake, maybe.
To each his own.
Yeah, to each his own.
Do you think it's all right for a first date to order like a second glass of wine for that kind of thing? Because obviously they're probably having a wine with their dinner. So would that be too much? Do you think having a second
Well,
glass of wine
That
for the first date?
all depends. If you're at somebody's house, and if it's your house, then have at the wine because you're not driving anywhere.
True.
If you're in a spaced out restaurant, and you drove, then maybe just have the one glass of wine and take it easy.
Mm.
But that's also a test to see how your date's gonna react too,
Oh, that's a good.
If they're sucking down the Jamesons while you're just having one tiny glass of Riesling, check please.
Yeah. There you go.
Could be.
Yeah, if
So,
he's doing like 4 shots of Jameson for every glass of wine, yeah.
I don't know. If I'm having a date and he's having 4 shots of Jameson, I might be getting lucky that night. So hello,
Well,
I'll
you're
stick to the
getting
one
better
glass of
looking.
Riesling, because then I'll be in control.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Oh
You
my
boys.
goodness. So Lydia, what have you been working on for us this week?
Oh, well, you know how sometimes your friends send you these fun little email things?
Uh-huh.
Well, I was recently the recipient of one of these, and I would like to share some of the information with you.
Okay.
But I'm in kind of a pickle here because the word that describes these things, it's a really long, silly word. So I went to dictionary.com because you can hit that little speaker and then the little guy will tell you how to say something like pickle log, something like that.
Uh-huh.
Well, this word wasn't even in the dictionary.
What?
So here's the word, okay?
Uh-huh.
The word is paraprosdokian. Now- I don't know if that's how you pronounce it because
Paraprosdokian.
paraprosdokian. And it's a
Okay.
figure of speech in which the latter part of a sentence, phrase, or larger discourse is surprising or unexpected
Oh.
in a way that causes the reader or listener to reframe or reinterpret the first part. Okay? And
Okay.
they're kind of funny.
Okay.
So yeah, the first one's like, hey, today a man knocked on my door and asked for a small donation toward a local YMCA swimming pool. So I gave him a glass of water. Right? I know, it took you a second. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
And also, I changed my password to incorrect. So when I forget it, the computer says your password is incorrect. Genius right there. Come on, that's good. Yeah. And I'm also great at multitasking. Yeah, I can waste time, be unproductive, and procrastinate all at once.
I do that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this harkens back to the Ask Lydia thing. Yeah, take my advice. I'm not using it.
That makes sense.
That took me a minute too. What?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
You'll catch up. It's okay.
That's a paraphrasdokian.
Yeah, and my husband and I were happy for 25 years. And then we met.
Oh.
So, and then after that, yeah, behind every great man is a woman rolling her eyes.
Oh, yes. I know that one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And here's some advice. If you keep both feet firmly planted on the ground, you'll have trouble putting on your pants. I heard Michael that time. Oh, I got him all the way in the producer's booth. Okay, and then a computer once beat me at chess. Yeah, it was no match for me at kickboxing.
Oh. Oh.
And
Paraphrasdokian.
yeah, and there may be no excuse for laziness. I'm still looking. Okay, there it is. So here's one to live by.
Okay.
Give me ambiguity, or give me something else. That one might be my favorite.
I'm
Women sometimes make fools of men, but most guys are the do-it-yourself type.
That's true.
Aw.
Yeah, I got two more. Okay.
Okay.
Sometimes I wake up grumpy. Other times I let him sleep.
Sleep in.
Yeah.
I saw a t-shirt.
Okay. So, hey, Tim, this one's for you, buddy.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
If at first you don't succeed, skydiving definitely is not for you. So there you go.
Lydia.
Lydia, those are great.
I'm just
Ah,
picturing
I'm
the
glad
guy
you liked
with
them.
his feet firmly on the ground.
Put on
pen.
And honestly, I was like,
Dorky.
oh, my
You
phone
gotta
will
cut
tell me how to say it.
You got
Paraphrasdokian.
Paraphrasdokian.
you got a couple
Yeah.
snorts out of Michael for that one.
You
I
did.
heard him.
You
Oh,
did.
yeah.
You got a
He
couple.
succeeded.
Listen, our friend Kristin has a question for you, so we're going to bring Kristin back on real
Oh,
quick.
good. Okay.
Kristin, are you there? She's gonna pop out. There she
There
is.
she is.
Hi.
Lydia, it's so great to finally meet you.
Oh, and you too, honey.
Thank you. So I have a question for you. I know that you're all big fans of football out there. Go Beavers, or Gophers. Go Gophers. But my question is, I had been really looking forward to this fall without football and a fall full of leaf peeping and hunting down pumpkin drinks and foods. But now football's back, and
Yeah.
my husband isn't turning the TV off. And I didn't know how we're going to be able to figure this out now that we have football back. And is it wrong for me to give him an ultimatum that I will socially distance from him throughout the remainder of football season if he doesn't turn off the TV?
Well, you know, like you said, we are in the season of pumpkin everything. So maybe you could have a nice compromise and say, honey, hey, why don't we go out in the backyard with the family and we can play pumpkin football? So then he's got his football, you got your pumpkins, everybody's happy. Yeah,
So
I would
true.
say that. Yeah. But you know, there's also this thing called another TV that you could watch.
True. All good thoughts. All
Yeah.
good thoughts.
Okay. Well, it's nice to meet you.
So nice to meet you
That's
too.
awesome.
Thank you,
So,
Lydia.
Kristin, stay with us. Lydia, thank you so much. It was good to
Okay.
see you this week.
Bye, fellas.
Lydia Cleft, everyone.
Bye.
What's wrong with football?
So that's Lori Poulin.
Yes.
Playing the role of Lydia Cleft, and she's directed you in many things, Kristin.
Yeah.
Moon Over Buffalo, 4 Weddings and an Elvis, which we were finally on stage in together.
Yes.
Finally.
Yes.
So that was yeah. We were supposed to get married, I think, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you didn't.
Yeah. Whose fault was that, huh?
That's right.
Yeah.
You went back to your ex-wife.
I did. I left her at the altar and she ended up marrying Elvis. So, so who won out there?
Yeah.
I don't know, right?
Honestly.
So yeah. So listen, it's time for Kristin to play a game.
I think it is. We're going to play jargon gymnastics. Stretch your mind.
Stretch your tongue. Tell her what the game is all about, Tim.
Well, Kristin, this is a game that we find foreign or different kind of words or phrases, and we give you 3 possible definitions for them. If you can guess the correct answer in 2 of the 3 words, you will be our winner. And we'll tell you what your prize is when we're all done.
Absolutely.
So, for you, Kristin, we have looked into Scottish words.
Nice.
Do you have any history of Scotch in you?
None at all.
Great. Perfect.
I mean, Scotch, but
Yeah. That will be your friend over there. Urban. So here we have 3 words, and we'll give you 3 possible definitions. And again, you just have to get 2 of them right to win. Okay, your first word is Bampot.
Bampot.
Bampot. Can you say that with a Scottish accent?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get
Get
away
away from my
that.
Bampot.
There you go. Here's a Bampot. Number 1, a large kettle used for scaring little children on Christmas morning. Is it number 2, the Scottish version of marijuana grown from grass clippings from Scottish golf courses? Or is it number 3, an idiot?
oh man, I really want it to be a pot, but it's got to be an idiot.
It's an idiot. Well, maybe it's an idiot that tries to grow pot from grassy. Very good. That's the first one. Let's see if we get the second one now. The second word is keech. Keech.
Keech.
Keech.
Okay.
Is keech a Scottish dish made with eggs and steamed ram's bladders? Because you know the Scots and their food. Is it number 2, the Scottish pastime of tossing spoiled albatross eggs at one another? Or is it number 3, bird poop?
Ooh, tricky. I mean, if poop is an answer, you got to go with poop. I'm going poop.
Poop is the answer. And that's a good way that's a good safe thing to tell all our contestants.
All of the contestants.
If there's poop in it,
it's got to be.
If it's got poop or a fart, you know we got the right one here.
Yeah, all about poop.
Okay, that's great. Well, you've won the game, but we're going to go for the clean sweep here.
Yes.
So we have one more word, and it's blue turd.
Blue turd.
Blue turd.
Blue turd.
Is it 1,
Ooh, sorry.
getting drunk enough to star in a Scottish X-rated movie?
Ooh.
Is it number 2, getting drunk enough to attend the Scottish version of Blue Man Group? Or is it number 3, getting drunk enough to sing Blue Suede Shoes at a Scottish karaoke night?
Ooh. Oh, man. I got to go with 3, karaoke night. Yes!
That is correct. In fact, any answer would have worked fine because it's all about getting drunk.
Blue turd is getting drunk Scottish style.
And we just added a few little things in there. So congratulations, you won!
I
And
love
you
winning.
won a custom made for you COVID-19 Take Flight with Phoenix Stage Company mask and a Theater Strong Phoenix Stage Company bracelet. And we'll mail those off to you, Kristin, since we're distancing so far. That was a fun game, wasn't
Oh,
it?
great. Kristin, it's so much fun to have a seat on the show and to see you again after so long. It's way too long.
Yeah.
And we can't wait until we can actually see you in person someday.
Yes, I can't either. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
It's so great.
Kristin Moresi, everybody.
Hey, bye, Kristin.
Bye.
That was awesome. Kristin was I'm gonna confess here, and she was having a little bit of technical difficulties when she first came onto our show because she was using a device she wasn't familiar with.
Yeah, so we were looking at her finger.
And
a
we
lot.
kept
It
seeing
was
her
awesome, though.
finger. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like, well, maybe you could draw your face on the finger.
Maybe.
That might be a history. That might be our next show. A 2-man show would just be a 2-finger
It'd
show.
just be 2 fingers.
Yeah, that
Could
way
be
you
one,
could-
it could be one person, you'd never know it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be like
Where is Pointer?
Zacco.
Where is Pointer? Here I
We
am.
could do
Oh,
a
Zacco could be a
we could bring
Zacco could be a
back.
guest.
That would be
Yeah,
awesome.
except that Zako doesn't speak.
Well,
So
it'll
it'll be
be
a very short
quiet.
guest.
At least we better that one
appearance.
do that one as an audio only podcast.
It would. You know, we have, before we get to good news,
Yes,
we have some projects coming up that we want to talk
let's
about.
talk about it because these are very exciting projects.
These are very exciting projects. So we have a few things going on. Coming up on October 8th,
Mhm.
which is
2 weeks
2
from
weeks away, we will be premiering a new film by John Long. It's a play that
Yep.
we're filming because it's going to be easier to do than Zooming it.
Right.
It's directed by our friend Drew, who oh my goodness, his last name just went on my head. It was in my head a second ago. He is a professor over at Quinnipiac.
Okay.
Drew Scott. Drew Scott. And he directed it, and it's featuring some of our favorite actors: Tori Rishnovsky, Beth Steinberg, Chris Evans, Sheila Garrison,
Oh
all
my.
the way from Kansas City,
Oh,
Dan
wow.
Willey, Killian Meehan, Katie Stango,
Oh yeah.
and Rob Rishnovsky. It's premiering on October 8th. So what we're going to do is we will start our podcast and then we'll start streaming this movie. It's designed to be performed online. Learning Experience is a play about individual experiences of living in quarantine during the pandemic of 2020. 8 people from different walks of life tell their stories in the form of monologues to be posted online. The stories reveal what their lives were before the pandemic and how they've changed during isolation. Some characters work from home, some go into work, some don't work at all. They range in age from 18 to 70s, and all are motivated to share a learning experience online to communicate with people they will never meet or know. By turns moving and humorous, these characters share a desire to continue living, learning, laughing, and growing in a time of crisis that affects everyone. So this will be going up onto our YouTube channel on October 8th, and it will be running through October 18th on the channel. We're going to make it available. After that, it will be coming off the channel. And this is an opportunity. It's a fundraiser for Phoenix Stage Company. We will be asking for donations during the performance. So Tim and I will introduce it. We're going to ask for donations. And then we'll start the stream. We'll have a small intermission, and then we'll finish the stream as well. It's a world premiere of this work, and we're really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Really, really looking forward to this one.
This is going to be great.
That's on Thursday, October 8th. Make sure you mark your calendars and plan on being here for that. I can't wait to see this.
This is going to be great.
I've read it, and I know that I've read the play, and now I know it's going to be so different to watch it being performed, and I can't wait to see what they've done.
You got some heavy hitters in that
We've got
cast,
some really big heavy hitters, and
Yeah.
I'm excited to, and like I said, Sheila Garrison is out in Kansas City. It's exciting to have her as a part of it.
Seriously.
Be a part
That's
here.
amazing.
So that's exciting. And then you have something else that we're doing.
Yes, at the end of the month, a few weeks after that, October 28th and 29th, on Wednesday and Thursday nights at 7 p.m., we're going to be presenting Ghost Stories to get you in the Halloween mood. And they're going to be free, and they're going to be right here on our YouTube channel. And you're going to hear some of our favorite theater people telling ghostly Halloween tales, and we will be here hosting it. And
we will, and we're working on filming some of those stories
Right.
so that we can stream it more effectively. We have less technical issues with Zoom. So
Yep.
Killian Meehan,
Mhm.
Ian Dietrich, Lori Phillips, your wife, is going to read one for us. Michael's going to read one. Al Hathaway is going to read a ghost story for us. Yeah, so we have a lot of really cool people coming in to read stories for us, and we're excited about it.
Are we dressing up for this?
We are dressing up for it. And yeah, so we're excited about it. And we have a studio audience, and I think they're coming in costume too.
What?
Yes.
This is going to be nuts.
Yes, so far we have 2 people coming for the Thursday night podcast of that show on the 29th. And they're coming in costume. So if anybody else wants to come down, let us know.
We have a limit, but yes, come on down.
Yeah,
and so that's Wednesday. and
We'll be
Thursday.
distancing and stuff, and we'll take reservations on
We'll
that.
make popcorn.
We will make popcorn. And
We can increase our capacity.
we can increase our capacity,
Yeah.
but we'll still keep it nice and low.
Yep.
And then on Halloween night,
Yes.
we will be premiering a movie that we're filming here at Phoenix Stage Company. It's called 133 Main, a paranormal investigation.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, it's going to be great fun. And we actually, on that one, we will be selling tickets to that event. We're using an online format that will be streaming the film for us. We're really excited about this thing. We're in the planning stages and we're getting ready to film it here in a couple of weeks. We're really, really excited about this one. So that will premiere on October 31st. You'll be able to buy tickets to see that show.
We're going to tell you all about the ghost stories, the actual ghost stories of this building.
Well, and we'll see if there's any ghosts because we have investigators coming to do the investigation.
With all those fancy
we're
equipment.
being interviewed, and then they're going to do an investigation of the theater. We'll see what turns up.
There may be some reenactments.
We'll reenact some stuff. But I have to say this though.
Yeah.
Recently, Michael's been on us to stay after the show to do a Ouija board, and we have been totally against that.
No,
but he's pushing us, so we'll see what's going to happen with that. That's a question for everyone here. Do you think we should do a Ouija board in the middle of the theater? What's going to happen?
Of course,
So
Michael spelled it W.
that's a question for our viewers. Should we give in to Michael and let him run a Ouija board night here at the theater? Let us know.
That's just asking for trouble.
Yeah,
So,
so-
I mean, we know about the Warrens. We talked about them last week.
We did talk about
And
that
they said
last
never mess with a Ouija board.
week. Right, and
Or I
unfortunately,
used to call it OJA board.
they're not with us anymore, so they can't come and save us afterwards if we do let him do it.
Yeah,
So if anybody out there has any advice on that, let us know.
it's true.
Let us know.
So a lot of exciting things happening in October. This is wonderful.
Yeah,
stuff.
we're excited about this. We are. We're excited.
How are we
So,
going to top it in November?
we'll have to come up with something.
I think
I'll
we
dress
will.
you as a turkey, and I'll be a pilgrim, and they'll watch you get stuffed
Oh dear. And we went
with
there.
beer,
Yes.
and jelly bellies.
Jelly bellies.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first or good news, or do you want me to go first?
Oh, I have good news.
Oh,
Hold
why
on,
don't
let
you
me.
go?
I gotta play music under
Yes,
this
why
good
don't you
news.
play your good news music there?
40 days to election day.
I knew it was gonna bring
Woohoo!
Just about the amount of time
40
that-
more days. Do you know now?
Yeah.
Our friend Lori Poulin, a couple of years ago, she hates those political phone calls you get.
Sure.
And a couple of years ago, I called on their house phone because I was on my way over there. I think you were at the house, and I was on my way there, and she answered the phone, and I didn't say anything right away. She said, "Hello, hello," and I said, "Hello, this is Chris Murphy," and she went, "Beep," and she hung up.
Except she didn't
She
say
hung
beep.
up. No, she didn't say beep. I won't say it. Gosh darn, but she didn't say that. And she hung up. And then I called back a second later and said, "Don't hang up. It was me. It was me. It was me." So yesterday morning I got a text
Yeah.
from a representative from one of our candidates saying, "Did you get your mail-in ballot?" And I got the application. I said, "Yes. Are you going to vote for so-and-so?" And I said, "I'm not comfortable answering that question
Yeah.
over a text. So if I vote by the issues, so if your candidate is siding with me on the issues the way that I believe, then they're going to get my vote. Great. Don't forget to ask for this or this or this." And I said, "I'm voting in person." Great.
Are you
So
voting in person?
I am going to vote in person. I am. I took my application and I wrote void on it, and I'm going to have it with me, and I'm going to walk into the polls and I'm
Right.
going to vote. I am going to vote.
We are too.
Where I go to vote, honestly, it's like there's hardly anybody there ever anyway. So
As
I'm
long as you
not
avoid
too
the
worried about
rush
that.
hour.
Yeah, and so I'm not too concerned about that. But yeah, absolutely, I'm gonna.
we
vote.
should bring in Deb Cryan sometime because she works polls.
She's a pollster. She
And we
is.
should
Watching
find out.
tonight?
What's
Yeah.
that?
She's watching tonight.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Deb.
Hi, Deb Cryan.
We'll say thank you later to you, but yeah, I think it'd be interesting to find out what how she's doing with getting ready for this. 'Cause it's a crazy year.
It is
You
a
know,
crazy
it's
year.
gonna be insane.
2020.
Can't finish soon enough.
Yeah, I feel like Charlie
So that's
Brown.
your-
2020.
that's your good news. And
That's my good
Okay.
news. 40 days to election day. What's your good news, Tim? Let me play your music.
yeah, play my music because I had a wonderful experience last Saturday morning. It showed up on Facebook. A couple of friends saying we're going to get together and go to a park and throw frisbees. It was John Ozarhowski, Johnny O from used to be on Backstage, and Rich McKenna.
Yeah.
And apparently they got together before and they did frisbee tossing at this park. And it was a wonderful opportunity to go and actually be outside. It was a gorgeous morning. And much to my surprise, about 10, 15, close to 20 people showed up.
Outside the pod, Tim, outside the pod.
We're throwing a Frisbee 50 yards away from each other.
Okay.
And of course, you wipe down afterwards. But the best part of it is there were several people that just showed up just to be outside and to talk to people. So we socially distanced ourselves and was able to talk to some friends I have not seen in months. Val Vitello, who volunteers here all the time, she looked great. Patty Rice and Keith Winiger was there. Merrick Martin showed up. It was just, people actually got emotional because you do, while we do appreciate people watching these shows on YouTube and things like that, it doesn't compare to being there in person with somebody. And even though there was no hugs and everybody did all the stuff they were supposed to do, it was still wonderful to see these friends I haven't seen in 6 months. So that was my good news. I tell you, it turned my day around. I was in a very bad mood to start that day because it was the night before that we got that bad news from Washington. And it just everybody felt so good.
Are you finding these days that you're having more bad mood days or more frequently bad mood days?
It's hard.
How about our audience? Are you finding, Michael looks bored over there.
Yeah.
Are you finding that you're having more days where you're blue or down a little bit than normal?
I think it's commensurate to how much time you're spending watching news or listening to news or reading the news or reading. Facebook is loaded with lots of
I
ads these
uninstalled
days.
Facebook this week. I'm out.
A lot of people are doing that. I will go on there and I will post occasional things on there. Lori goes on for me and checks things a lot, but for the most part, I just can't. There's too much. There's just too much, and that's why Saturday morning was so important to me to see these people. And there was a little talk of what's happening in 40 days, but most of it was just like, how have you been? What have you been up to? And how you're surviving all this? And oh my God, you look great. You look great. Everybody was just so happy to see each other. It was interesting because I did not recognize Val Vitello.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't seen her and she's been going through a lot and she had her mask on and she had these big sunglasses on. I walked right past her.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Johnny O says, I said, who's that over there? Well, that's Val Vitello. Get out. So It was great. And I actually got a little bit of exercise in. Yeah. I ran around. I found out that I throw my Frisbee at you for.
I'm right-handed.
You're right-handed. I'm left-handed. I got to tell you, Rich McKenna, amazing Frisbee tosser.
Does he throw underhand or
He does
overhand?
the wrist one. He does this way. And he does all different ways. This is a guy who played ultimate Frisbee in college.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, you could tell. You could tell. Ultimate Frisbee was like the thing to play. Did you play ultimate Frisbee?
No. I used to throw a Frisbee.
Okay. Well, you go back to your thing there.
I think he's writing stuff down if anybody's answering.
Al, do you used to throw the Frisbee?
Yeah, of course.
Left-handed or right-handed?
Right-handed.
Right-handed.
Because he had his joint in his left hand.
Yeah, there you go. He was
he's a hippie.
He was a wild
guy. Hippie back in those days.
Well, I kind of surprised myself because it just I just started throwing and I realized I'm throwing left-handed. The only other things I do left-handed are eat and write. All my other sports are all right-handed, and yet with the Frisbee. But boy, every now and then that Frisbee would come in and you try to grab it, it would hit the tips of your fingers.
Yeah,
no. No bueno, as you say a lot.
Yeah, no bueno.
Yeah.
So. Brian Elser is lethal with a Frisbee.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's lethal with a Frisbee. He's really good, but he's lethal. Just ask Teresa's husband there, Mike.
Oh.
He got a good shin.
Oh, that's right. He did.
Time. Yeah.
So it was really nice being in a park. And of course, this, like I said last week, this is my favorite time of the year weather-wise. It's not too cool, not too warm.
Yeah.
I think I brought a jacket, but I didn't wear it very long out in the park. It was a nice sunny day.
Yeah.
And it was just so good to be out and among friends, even in the social distance effort. So that was my good news. I was really enjoyable. And I can't wait to do it again. We're going to do it again.
That's excellent.
I'll let you know next time.
Yeah, let me know. Let me know. I think it was up in my neck of the woods, right?
It was.
Yeah. So yeah, I would enjoy that. I think Michael is coming my way with a piece of paper. We'll talk about whether or not people are, experiencing the same things that we are and having a few more blue days and a few more whatevers and what they do.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah, there are.
I'll drink my beer while you do that.
Amber said she's so grumpy.
Mhm.
Tony does not watch the news.
Good for you, Tony. It's true. I try not to. What? Oh, Michael wrote something. What?
Michael wrote, Ed Bassett is a salty old queen. And we
Who
know.
sent that in? Who sent that in?
Listen.
Surprise. Surprise.
Yeah, whatever. Lori says Tim is grumpy, especially in the morning.
Oh, you know that.
And Martha says, me, emotional days? Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It is tough. It is tough. It's been a long haul. It's been 6 months, and we've been, it catches up on people. But we look for anything we can to brighten it up, and even if it's making fun of your royalty.
Yes. Yeah, and I'm hoping that winter, I read the Farmer's Almanac, and we're looking at a harder winter. We're going to have more sleet than normal.
We didn't have much snow last year.
We're going to have some heavy snowfall, but a lot more sleet. Al's a skier and a whatever. So we're going to have more snow. We're going to have a lot of sleet this year in New England.
Yeah.
And then in the spring and summer of 2021, we're supposed to be wetter than normal and cooler than normal. Michael, stop it. I meant more precipitation than normal.
Wow, did this go downhill very quickly?
It really did. It really did.
Yeah.
So it is time for us to thank our sponsors. But before we do, subscribe to our channel. Just subscribe to it if you haven't already.
Yes, because
please do.
we want more people to know.
And share the word about our podcast.
Yeah, even if you're out in California watching this on your TV right now, which I doubt because they forget. But everybody, tell a friend. If you tell one friend, and they tell one friend, then we'll have 3 more friends.
Then we'll have 28 people watching.
Yeah.
So let people know that we're here, and just let people know the Phoenix Stage Company is still out here doing our stuff, and it'll be really fun. And we need to thank our sponsors now. So Michael has to change a screen apparently.
We'll sit there and just watch
it's okay,
you.
or just sit there and rub your belly and look
He's
at me.
scratching himself.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
so
Lydia, we probably don't want that one.
The screen isn't changing, so we're just going to start going.
There we go.
Listen, So listen, we need to thank our sponsors, Tim.
Yes, we do.
They are Black Hog Brewing Company, located where?
Oxford, Connecticut.
Out by the airport. They are our friends, and we're very thankful for them.
There they are, yeah.
And we need to thank
Sierra Ridge Media Arts.
And Deb Cryan, a full-service printing house from Naugatuck, Connecticut. So thank you, Deb, for all your support, everything you do for Phoenix Stage Company.
Yeah.
Don't forget that you can donate to your community theater at any time by going to phoenix-stage-company.square.site to support Phoenix Stage Company.
I swear we
Thank
need
you
to put a
very much.
camera on Michael sometime.
We really do. It's going to be fun to have a camera on Michael one day. So thank you all very much for being here with us this week. We love you all.
We miss you all.
We miss you all. Hopefully we'll see everyone in person soon.
Yep.
That's all. See you next week. Say goodnight, Tim.
Good night, Tim.
Are we muted?
Keep talking. What?